Guys, and welcome back. We're going to be looking at the Billy today, and this is the build that I recommend on him. Now, the thing about the Billy is, he's such a strong killer in Dead by Daylight. He has so much versatility, he has so much movement built in, he has instant lethality. He's one of the strongest killers in the game ever since he came out, and he's been holding the top place always in the top 5 in Dead by Daylight, both with and without add-ons. Now, the build I recommend on the Billy is what you can currently see based off no add-ons. Now, there are a couple of things that are subject to change based on you as a player and an individual, but this is what I find the most success with. Now, the first perk, I'm going to be following pretty much the exact same principles that I follow on all of my killers. However, this first perk is integratable based on the map that you're currently on, and at the same time, you don't really need it based on the Billy's default ability. You might be wondering what the Billy's default ability is. It basically gives him 2.3 seconds to rev a chainsaw, or 2.2 seconds, sorry, to rev a chainsaw, which will cause instant down dying state and give this killer 230% base movement speed as opposed to 115% until he collides with something or ends the action. He will pull a chainsaw up, he'll rev it, and then he'll run at 230% with reduced steering. So it gives him a lot of map momentum, a lot of movement throughout the entire board. He can curve, and he can also down a survivor in one hit as opposed to two, therefore making him one of the most threatening killers in the game. Now, you'll notice the build follows pretty much the same principles as a lot of my builds do. We've got a gen protection perk, we have a situational awareness perk, we have a regression perk, and we have a utility perk, right? So right now we've got corrupt intervention. It'll seal the furthest 3 generators away from me. Realistically, as a Billy with his base movement speed, you don't need this. You could replace this at the beginning of the trial for discordance, based on the fact that it assists you more to the mid to the late game, as opposed to corrupt as an early game perk and will only work for 120 seconds before the perk stops. However, based on how powerful the Billy is, he doesn't even need more than 3 perks, especially if you know how to play him really well. The next perk I've got is Thrilling Tremor. Some people tell you barbecue and chili. My builds are generally about, remember, protection of generators and killing survivors. At the same time, these are based off no add-ons. So you could run barbecue in wake of this, but I prefer the information I get through Thrilling Tremor, allowing me to know where I need to go, what generators are being worked on, and vice versa. A lot of people expect you to have barbecue over thrilling so you catch them off guard, especially if they get in a locker and they don't hear the generator beside them getting sealed. The next perk I've got is Pop Goes the Weasel. So what does this do as well? Basically, generators will seal white if there are no survivors on them when you hook another survivor, and if they're not sealed white for 18 or for 16 seconds, you know there is a survivor on that generator. Therefore, you can move across the board at 230% movement speed, or if you have Doom or Death Engravings, even faster, you can get around the board and then regress that generator with Pop Goes the Weasel. Now, I can't recommend Surge based on the fact that Surge will not apply off a chainsaw hit. Pop Goes the Weasel will give you 25% regression on a generator that you regress, with and it'll give you 60 seconds as well for that too. Very powerful perk, especially at stopping them from completing a generator that's nearly done. You can knock multiple seconds off it and really hurt survivors that have put all their eggs into one basket if they chose to stack. I also have a perk called Infectious Fright. Now, Infectious Fright is when you put a survivor into dying state, all nearby survivors within your terror radius, my terror radius being 32 meters as a hillbilly, will be able to scream and reveal their location for 6 seconds. The scream indicator is the exact same as a doctor. A bubble will appear above their head of their current location of where they were, and it will fade after 6 seconds. So the survivor can continue to run. The bubble will not follow them. The bubble will stay where it currently was when you down somebody else. They will put their hands in the air near their head. They'll make a yell and animation and sound, which is also countered by calm spirits. If a survivor gets in the locker, they will still scream if they don't have calm spirits, but it will not give you an indicator of their current location as well. So with Infectious Fright, if I just downed somebody like Megan on the ground and I see Nia and Jeff scream at the same time, I'm going to pick this guy up from the ground, I'm going to take him to the hook, and I'm probably going to leave. However, if I just down Jeff and then I only heard one player scream and he's nearby, I'm going to leave Jeff on the ground, go for the other person based on how I feel, and if I think I'm going to be losing a generator, or if I'm not going to be losing a generator. If she's at a really good jungle gym, I might just try and take an M1 or the pallet, break the pallet, pick Jeff up, hook him, and then chainsaw across the board, try and get her to hook save early. So Infectious Fright is a fantastic perk. Some people would stick with Enduring on Billy based on time management. It can be really good. You can even replace Corrupt Intervention with Enduring, but I just think Infectious is one of his golden perks, and a lot of people undermine how snowball potential this is. Remember, you have an instant down on you at all times, so if you come up behind somebody trying to hide, you can down him straight away rather than hitting him, have him get 150% movement speed for a few seconds, then trying to hit him again and catching him. You could just down him there and then, providing he doesn't have sprint burst. It can be a very lethal build for you to run on the Hillbilly. But guys, it's that simple. Highly recommended perks is you could like I said earlier, you can alternate between Thrilling Tremor and barbecue and chili, depending on what you prefer. You can get rid of Corrupt, and if you wanted to put on Ruin, I personally wouldn't recommend Ruin. You can also put on Discordance, also great perks, and Infectious. You could even look at Enduring Spirit Sphere. You can go Enduring Barbecue and Chili, Enduring bamboozled. It just depends on how you want to build him. He's a very strong killer, keeping in mind that I were to say he has a weakness, his weakness would be, I want to say Windows, but he's no more weak against Windows than a killer like a Wraith. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could still outplay Windows with crazy curves if you know how to do it, but I wouldn't say he has many weaknesses. He has a lot of strengths, but no weaknesses. It's just, the biggest thing is a lot of people don't know how to time manage properly as a Billy, resulting in them overcommitting to a chase or not applying enough pressure, which will cause them to lose generators too fast. But guys, that's going to be all for today's educational, informative killer game in terms of updating information with the HillBilly. If you guys had a great time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do stream DVD 5 days a week over here live on Twitch. And make sure you guys pop on in and say g'day. It'll be a pleasure to see you guys over in the fog. Take care, be awesome, and I'll see you guys then. Thank you.